I been kicking it with Cooch. 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 Got a lot of shit to lose. I been kicking it with Cooch. 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 How'd I end up on the news?
Right here, right now. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is a very special episode of Kicking It. I'm here with my friends, my dogs, finders, keepers, everything but trap. Kema, KD, Peter, how are y'all?
Greetings.
Great. How are
What's
you?
up? I'm well. If you can hear it in my voice, I'm so excited to be
Seem
here.
very zen.
I believe it.
I feel like this is your voice for everything, though.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But it's not about me. It's about
It's about all of us, you know. So this is Credit Check. Credit Check. We are here.
credit check.
We are doing our Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up, Sean. Clap it up, Sean. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, Nick. Yo, shout out to Sean. He got like 2 cameras going, headphones on, sports betting.
And it's like a really bright.
This is for the tracking.
That is hilarious.
Right?
Do a sports
Wow,
betting.
that's hey, I'm about to be on my phone.
Bro, I want to get into sports betting so bad, but I know the second I lose money, I'll be sick.
Yeah, it's
It's a sick
one of
addiction.
those things. Yeah. We'll get into that later though.
For sure. But yes, Credit Check is coming up. We came together on some like Voltron shit to come together, throw an ill ass show. Like I want to know, like I don't think I've ever asked any of y'all like personally, like how did y'all get in? Like we'll start finders keepers. How did y'all get into throwing shows, and how did y'all meet?
Do you want to go ahead? I guess start. Yeah, go
How
ahead.
did we get into finders keepers?
Yeah.
How'd y'all meet first?
Yeah, how'd y'all meet?
I was gonna say meet first,
I have
then
no
finders
idea how I
keepers.
met Pete, to be honest with you.
For sure.
I will say we are both Guyanese.
Okay.
I was managing an artist. He was that artist's DJ back in the day. That's how we met.
I mean, no, we met, bro. No,
See, I don't know.
I think I don't even know story.
It's a long time ago.
Peter's like, this nigga's a horrible friend.
so everyone knows. Well, Coogee has been calling me Peter. That is actually my old DJ name. I was going by DJ Peter Parker back in the day. I was DJing everything, I guess, under the sun in Atlanta. I started at Georgia State. Man, did everything from concerts to Plaza Days where, Greek Stroll and stuff like that. Did concerts with like Ludacris, Kendrick Lamar. Graduated, and then I started, kind of fooling around in the city more. And boy, that was during like the peak blog era time in Atlanta when like things was really starting to pick up. And everyone started to like, hear about my name outside of state. And I was booked at this party called the Indie Draft.
that was my party.
Yeah. See, that was where I got my first like, Atlanta.
Indie Draft.
It's seeing me, spinning DJ. And then like, I came in there different. I came in there like playing like Dom Kennedy. And I think the Yellow album came out that same year in 2012.
Before independence was cool, trying to do
Yes.
what's called the indie draft.
Yeah.
Upset a couple people, but it was a good turnout. And we were trying to highlight like, hey, there's a lot of independent artists in the city that are doing their thing. And so we loaded it up at Museum Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Is Museum Bar still a thing?
That is Believe Music Hall now.
Is where they French now.
Believe
Got
Music
you.
Hall.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is now. So
That
but
venue's
it's-
gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it's crazy though, because like I didn't even meet him yet, but like after that, I got my shot as far as DJing. I think I DJ'd the concert called Spoiled Milk, I believe.
That was us too.
That was y'all too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Shout out to Buck. Yeah, that was what show was that? That was
Young Thug.
Young Thug.
On Spring Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spun that guy. After that, I did my last, I guess, kind of coolest thing, this party called Beer and Tacos. And that's where we like really officially met because I became the house DJ of that. And that was one of those parties back in the day that you've done everything, Katie. Say something.
God damn.
I'm kidding. But nah, like from a DJ, like just my point of view as a DJ, like I was at that time, I was like going through the indie ranks fast as fuck as a DJ, like doing like all the major things. I'm just coming out of state, but Beer and Tacos was like the final thing where we linked up and we worked more more directly. I feel like as a team, I think working with Neek and then just doing the show as far as just me being the house DJ. Oh my god, I love Beer and Tacos. That was like the premiere party for like niggas like Future, Migos, OG Maco, bro. I was about to say that was cool being like I'm shoulder to shoulder and it's Rich the Kid every week asking me, hey bro, can you spin my slap, bro? Like every week. Hey Pete, where you at? Like,
how old are you at this time?
Boy, I'm about to be 30.
No. I mean, shit. I meant at the time.
At the time?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was 22, 23 around that time.
Damn.
Yeah. So mind you, I am just a hippie. I'm not even thinking of like the cultural impact of what artists I was just like this close to being at that time because I just wanted to DJ. I just wanted to be heard. And it's funny because I'm gonna get into that once Katie goes into more about Beer and Tacos.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. I was a party promoter, so we did a ton of clubs. That turned into us saying, man, we want to do some, I guess, more creative parties and events. So we tried our hand at concerts. We actually got called for Beer and Tacos. We didn't create that event.
Okay.
So they brought us into that, and that took off. And from there, we realized like the city, we would like to provide some sort of platform. Not that the city didn't have one, but that what was there before maybe was on its way out. New players were coming in, people moving on, careers growing, whatever it was, and there was a void. So a lot of the promoters that we would do parties with at the time, we decided like, look, let's go do concerts, and that's where like Indie Draft comes from or Spoiled Milk comes from. Beer and Tacos started in a room about this big, in Little 5 Point, seriously, at a Mexican restaurant, and we would just pack it out.
Is that where the name comes from?
Beer and Tacos. It was Mexican. Wow. Called Luna Nueva. Yep.
What was the first Beer and Tacos?
Before I was even involved with it at, I want to say maybe like 595 North, they did something with either Currency or Big Crit. Wow. Yeah, so it had been a thing, but I guess when we came in, we all just took a little bit more serious and pushed it. And from there, that led to us doing like South by Southwest. We went to, we did A3C, of course. We took Bear Tacos to Phillips Arena. We took Bear Tacos on the road to different states. I think I'm sure I met you through something dealing with Bear Tacos.
Definitely,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think like a later one, because when Beer Tacos was like in its prime, I was like too young to be outside, and my mom was not letting me go to no rap shows. She's like, "You want to do what? Yeah, fuck out of here." I'm dead out. Like this is like peak blog era, and like at the time I'm already running the Daily Note, so I'd always see like these crazy flyers with like every rapper that I like,
bro, just outside.
And just like 20 minutes from where I live, and my mom just like, "Nah, nigga, this is not that."
And so as time progressed, we just kept on doing shows, and we stopped for a little while. And I think in the pandemic, it was a pandemic, right? Pete he didn't tell you guys this yet, but he moved back from LA, and I was like, man, we need to do something.
You lived in LA?
Yeah, no.
I didn't know you lived in LA.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, you got to tell that before the other.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. All right, so, and it's funny because I haven't really told this story. So I just kind of magically left Atlanta. At the time, it was just like, I kind of just made my announcement on Twitter saying, hey guys, I have this gig tonight in LA. I just moved there. I was like, oh my God. But in all reality, I was evicted. Due to the fact that there was a complication with my roommate, and she had got into it with the landlord at the time, and that was my second eviction in less than 6 months.
Damn.
The previous house, I was being, what's the phrase when a landlord neglects a property and they don't. Property. What? Neglect? Obviously, fool. There's like an actual name for it though. When like a landlord, like they're like intentionally not trying to like make repairs to a property, so you either move out.
Shitty landlord is what it's called.
Either way,
let's call it that.
Yep.
Oh wait, I know it. Constructive eviction.
Okay.
So I was constructively evicted in my first house. So like the second house was just like, oh yeah, and the first house was like a sewer problem. And I don't even want to get into that. Like, I have a whole like story about that. Yeah. It involves me digging through sewage with what's the thing called? You're a homeowner? Yeah, but I was a snake, and I was literally like unclogging shit with tampons and all that type of shit. And sewage was like spewing up in front of my garage, and my downstairs unit was just uninhabited because of the sewage, and the smell was so putrid. Like, it was really bad. Wow. Like, that was, so after I was evicted, oh yeah, mind you, they threw all my shit out, and I was robbed, by the way. And then like 6 months before that, I was robbed of my car with my MacBook and all my DJing shit with it.
I knew none of this, just so you guys know. It's news to me as well.
It was the day 285 blew up. And I had an interview for the W Bucket Hotel for a new residency, and I had to audition that Friday, and my shit got stolen that night.
Get the fuck out of
here. So, all those things happened. And mind you, I went looking for my car.
Right. On
the west side, bro. A nigga with a baseball cap and like a hoodie. Square ass nigga looking for his shit, bro.
Bad look Pete over here. God damn.
Hey, bro, you see my car, bro? Mind y'all, I found a lady who knew the niggas who stole it. And she was like, young man, I can tell you where they at, but if you pull up, they're going to shoot you. So I really, like, that's an Atlanta story I really haven't even told anyone.
Damn.
I was dealing with my car because I had the gig on Friday. I was like, bro, fuck all that shit, bro. I'm trying to, like, lock this in. So I had to use my homie's laptop because obviously I didn't find it. And that shit was cooked. And either way, all those things happened, and I said, fuck it. I'm going to LA. Fast forward.
That's a good reason to go to LA.
Yeah, but yeah. So
it is.
Yeah, I guess, but I just had to say fuck it. But let me hurry the fuck up. Either way, fast forward.
Get your vent on, bro. So we doing Kickin' It.
I kind of started, exploring. All right, I did all this DJ shit I was talking about before with all these artists. You know, I kind of know a thing or two about, what's next, quote unquote. For sure. I feel like I have a good feel for it because, like, I'm an actual DJ. I know the sound. I know what moves people. Whether it's being turned up or like being on some chill shit at the house and you want to just relax and think. I know the balance between the two, and balance is needed in music. I feel like we all know that. So I think, like going the labor route was like the suited thing for me. I started doing DoorDash and then I started working at a Create Music Group. Got fired because I came back to Atlanta to spend the Earth Gang mixtape party at Traffic nightclub at the time. My boss wasn't too happy about that. So I went back to DoorDash and pandemic hit. I'm broke as fuck. What the fuck? I started interviewing at UMG for this YouTube thing. I had got a YouTube cert. And then I was crafting this algorithm-based data input, I guess, mechanism that rates artists based off of their objective and subjective viewpoints, whether it's like YouTube counts, plays, a Spotify monthly listener, stuff like that. I was weighing that. And then also I was trying to weigh like what made them actually cool as an artist and trying to like base that numerically with a Google Sheet spreadsheet. I'm gonna actually show y'all later in a second, but either way, I DM, and this is like I think during the pandemic, I hit up the GM of Motown at the time. I was like, hey, bro, I got this sheet. Blase, blase, blah. I mean, obviously, I didn't say blase, blase, blah, but I said in my best professional way, hey, bro, float with me. And that literally started my interview process. And I met all the A&Rs at Motown at the time. Sean Barron was a guy who actually gave me the job. Was like, hey, I fuck with Sean. Shout out to Sean. But either way, I got that job. I had to go back to Atlanta, and then Motown was like, hey, bro, like you can't be in LA. Like you need to be in Atlanta in the field during the pandemic while
makes sense.
Figure shit out. So. Me and Katie had experience already just by, just being in the field back in those days and being tacos. So we were like, hey, bro, like, let's fill the void. And you know, at that time in the pandemic, bro, niggas didn't know what the fuck was going on. As far as like live shows about, hey, should I even be outside? Like, is it even worth it? As far as
Atlanta didn't like really shut down though, right?
they didn't, but like it was also like a big health thing too. Like niggas was like, nah, fuck that. I'm
Some
staying
people
inside.
shut down, but
for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Bars and restaurants was open, but like was people throwing shows? No.
Because I remember when I came down here, like during the pandemic, I was wearing a mask and niggas was looking at me crazy. And I knew that's when I realized, like, oh, y'all, because everything was shut down in Rhode Island, like nothing.
Sure. Initially, Finders Keepers was going to be called Safe and Sound because we were going to try to like spread the crowd out.
Sounds like a rescue mission.
It's like, yo, we can't do that one. So, yeah, pandemic. It was just crazy. We had no idea what was going on. Because of all of our peers and everyone being involved in music and things, we would be in the studio. I was managing a producer at the time, Jalen. Shout out to Jalen. And he was working with a young lady named Bari. And that is how our first Finders Keepers kind of came about.
Barry, like Kirkpatrick, Barry?
Byrie.
Oh, yeah, shout out to her.
Byrie, you said Byrie.
Byrie and Dende were our first two headliners. Byrie, I apologize.
She will kill us.
Yeah, she's hard. Shout out to Dende too.
Absolutely, both.
Def Jam got a fucking legend with him.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to those two, man.
You know, that was our first show.
Also,
And it was really cool. Like the turnout was really cool. And it kind of just said, hey, let's do a little bit more of this. Let's see who else we can bring down here. And then Finders Keepers.
wow. I didn't realize that, like, again, outside looking at it, I felt like it's been around a lot longer, but now knowing, like, the history of you guys been doing shows for a really long time, that's probably why I thought so. It just all blended into each other.
Right. Just a new name. I mean,
you know, it's funny though, because like I was looking back, I was like, damn, we only did like 6 shows.
Get the fuck out of here.
We didn't really do, like, we had like such a buzz outside of the shows with like our content and like doing
it would have looked
doing studio stuff.
That's probably why.
We kind of made it look like that. Boy, yo, as far as content, marketing, good God Almighty, that is something that we really had to dive in organically, like within ourselves, and figure that shit out. Because like, man, like I don't know, because that was like that was my first time like really being in the driver's seat as a curator, and this nigga just kind of threw me in it, and you know I was really
I'll do it again,
testing things out. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, you know, after the first show, I think we did Alameda. After that, that was cool. Had Kaylin Bree.
Name,
Langston Blue was on that. Yeah, we had Yoda.
Snow. We did
Popstar Benny was like my favorite one. I wanted to like.
That was a good one
because like I was trying to like infuse the whole gaming tournament thing with his mixtapes and stuff like that. So like I was really just more or less just going with my interests, to be honest. And the music also reflected that too, because I was listening to these guys, because I was also like, you know, we were using that as a template to like, hey, you know, have these label calls with different entities. At the time, I was talking to like Atlantic, to Lost, about Finders Keepers, and we were, you know, just taking calls and, you know, gauging their interests, so to speak. You know, everyone said, yo, it looks dope, but like, you know, for some reason, you know, things never went beyond that. And I am proud to say that a lot of the artists who either headlined or was on the show has had some type of label situation or type of like, boost in their career.
A couple of artists got label attention and inquiries just from doing our show.
Really?
And that's always something you can like celebrate. You know what I mean? You can pat yourself on the back for it. And I think that just speaks to, again, the curation and just the selection of the artists, because we didn't do anything. It's just the artist is dope and we put them on stage.
But like to y'all, it's nothing, but it's like providing a platform for artists is really important, especially now in a place where it's just like, I mean, it's always been pay to play, but now it's just like these artists don't have chances to get good at performing. Yeah. So like platforms like the ones we do are super important in my opinion, because it's just like without that, it's just like these niggas are either selling 50, 100 tickets to open for a nigga that and never perform before, so they bomb, or they That's it. That's really it. And now we're getting to the point where artists are throwing their own shit because there's just not a lot of it. So it's just like the platforms that we all have are very important, in my opinion. I think we're doing more than just giving them a stage. We're curators. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's bring it over to Kema.
Hello.
What up, Kema? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So you started with parties in Florida.
Yes.
So let's take us through that and like the party scene, and then transitioning over to everything but trap in Atlanta and starting to throw concerts. Well, you're throwing concerts in Florida as well.
Yeah.
Give us the background.
Yeah.
Who is Kema?
Kema. I'm born and raised Tallahassee, Florida. My first party that I feel like technically the first party that I want to say that I ever thrown, I always count is my 18th birthday party.
Okay.
So that was like the first time I actually had to do something. Like I had to like find like computer speakers and like get like people to show up and like something. But that's like
computer
the first
speakers
time.
is hilarious.
I was turning 18. I don't know, 17 years old. I never really did nothing like that before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of that's like my first party. But I was throwing house parties with like my friends in high school for a very long time. So like for me, I was used to partying in high school. So like when I got to University of Florida, shout out the Gators,
Congratulations to your team.
So when I got to UF, it was a culture shock for me because I grew up around black people my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? All my schools are all black schools. So I got there and it was just like, I think it was more of a culture shock for me because I saw that the black people were not, they were not like partying together, if that makes sense, right? It was very segregated. It's like you got jams, and this is Florida. It's a big diaspora, I guess you would say. You got JAMSA, Jamaican students. You got Caribza. You got Club Creole. You got like the fake blacks. You got hood blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like
fake blacks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like it was just like I feel like it was like a void. So like when I got there, my first semester, like me and my friend Sam at the time. Well, he's still my friend, but Sam.
I'm like Sam, who did credit check flyer.
Yeah. Sam, shout out Sam for the marketing. But we were just like, man, this is different because he's from Broward. He went to school with Kodak and all of them. So he was also,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was also filling that void too. We just at a PWI and these black people are lame and it's like, what are we gonna do? So like we started TNT and like we threw our first party and it was lit and we got shut down like within an hour.
Okay.
We're like, fuck it. We just kept throwing parties and kept throwing house parties. And then we got to a point where it was like, for me, I always knew that like I wanted to build a team. So like I already knew the importance of having a team. So I built a team, like got like pretty much my homeboys, homegirls, like to join and be my promoters. And I went to the club and I told them, I was like, hey, nobody's coming to the club. Like I have your crowd. Like let me work for you. And like he let me work for him. So like
how old are you at this time?
I was 18.
So you're not even old enough to be in the club.
Yeah.
You a legend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, literally. So like, and shout out to like Lux and Ike because like they were the ones who kind of introduced me to the club owner at that time. And I would say this at the time, like men are difficult to work with as a woman in the entertainment industry, but I would say that I've learned so much from men because they've all been my mentors in this industry. So I would say like shout out to them for like allowing me to have that space. But start working in the club. You know how it is when you're a college club promoter. It's like you bringing in 100, 200 people every single weekend from your school. You're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I just got to a point where it was cool because I got the experience of like hosting like big artists like Chad Cinco and Tokyo Jets and like just what was the girl? Oh, Tommy's Waka Flocka wife. Like a bunch of like people who would just come to the
sold her an iPad.
Yeah,
very nice woman.
Yeah, DJ Esco came to Atlanta. Gainesville. Sorry, but it was just like it was good to see the experience of like, and I would get to see like things that he did that I like hated and like things that like I was like, okay, this worked well. Like if I ever open my club, this is what I'm gonna do. And I got the chance to see him open a club, like watch it go from like being like a addict pretty much like to like an actual club, like how to order liquor, how to buy stuff for the club, how to make booths, how to paint the booths, so all that experience and like you sitting here learning all this, you understanding now like how the money get made, how much money you making off the people I'm bringing who's drinking.
Yeah.
So after like my summer where after like the summer I graduated, I was like, man, like I'm gonna do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait, so how long did you do it?
I did all college.
Oh, you did? Damn. Okay.
I like pretty much like when it came to UF, like if there was it was a party going on, like it was ours. Like every graduation party, every Greek party. And then we came in at a good time too, because like when I came into UF, like a lot of our Greeks were suspended. Like we didn't have no alphas, we didn't have no kappas, we didn't have no zetas. So it was like, it was a big hole, a party hole there. You know what I'm saying? So like when all those Greeks came back, it was even better because all of them are homeboys now. So that fresh line of kappas and alphas, them all my niggas.
So shit's only getting
you know what I'm
litter,
saying?
yeah.
So yeah, guys just got better and better and better and better every year. So I loved it. My first concert, y'all don't judge me, but the first person I ever booked on my own with my own money was Boston Richie. It was.
You ain't know better than.
Yeah, I didn't.
Timing of it.
It's the time. It's all good.
Because he was a great artist.
Yeah.
Yo, he's phenomenal. He's just a fucking weirdo.
That was 2021 when Keep Dissing was like.
So this is like you caught it right at the time.
Yeah. Still, I got still the most money I ever made to this day. I'm trying to return a concert just because of that. But you know, I did like the Bostons, the Gloss Ups, the Whizzes, the Spliffs, the SCY Gyms, and it was just like, it was great. But I felt like I was being kind of pigeonholed because you're in Florida into only being able to do these certain 5 or 10 artists every single time. So like that's why I started EBT. It's because like I feel like this is the first time I'm throwing concerts where it's like I don't feel like I'm forced to have to pick these artists, right? If that makes sense, right? Like, trust me, I love trap music. Like, I grew up on trap music. Like all the things that they saying, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I
you're from Florida,
you know
so like yeah.
But it's like at a certain time, it's like I want to be able to see the people that I listen to every day on my Spotify in concert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't getting that. So that's kind of like how I got EBT and started EBT.
Were you here when you started EBT, or did you launch EBT in Florida?
No, I launched it here. Like when I moved here, I knew I couldn't launch it in Florida. Like I knew it.
That's why I asked. I'm like, how did that
Let me
go?
ask you though, like, why here? Because
it's Atlanta, and I think before, and I tell everybody this too. Before I launched, I moved to Atlanta in 2019. I didn't launch. We haven't done our 3 years, so we're going on 3 years for EBT.
Yeah.
Like so that was 2022, I think. Yeah, 2022 we started. Yeah. I knew I wanted to start EBT when I got here. I didn't do it until 2 or 3 years. I did a lot of market research. Like I had to understand like what the market was in Atlanta. And I think that's because I'm a marketing major, it's just kind of in my blood.
Flex it.
Indeed. You know, I won't do anything before I understand the city. And I told myself I needed to understand the city. And the pandemic took away a lot of that market research. And I tell people all the time, like, that's why college was so great because like, if I would throw a party, and even though we didn't take many L's, like if we did take an L, we would be able to go back on campus and understand why we took an L. Or like, oh, do this differently, or put these flyers this way. Everything was like a big ass market research pool, right? So that's the same thing with Atlanta. It's just like I had to learn Atlanta and what people like. And Atlanta is a city of Black people who have very, very diverse tastes in music.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you won't see every Black independent artist, neo soul, R&B, alternative Black artist, they have a tour stop in Atlanta every single time.
I agree.
That's valid.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you this too. Do you think that you would, I guess, possibly offend anyone with the name Everything But Trap here in Atlanta? Because you know Atlanta's a very trap.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I have. The first time I dropped my first flyer when I first did my launch party, and I like ran a sponsor ad for it. And
how was that?
I got so many comments of just like, this is so interesting, like how you come to a city that's home of trap and like doing everything but trap, da 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 da. And I think I be trying to tell people sometimes, like, it's called Everything But Trap because I can't sit here and call it, hey, everything that they don't play on the radio, this indie alternative, and you know, like it's like I can't do that. That's too long of a title.
It would be a terrible
like,
name.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Everything But Trap because it's literally like I'm focusing on literally highlighting all areas and genres of music except trap music. Like, and I'm saying trap music, not trap artists, because Future has like songs that are very trap specific, but then he can get on a song with Janae Aiko.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
duality.
That's why it's Everything But Trap. Like, and we're talking about the music, not the trap, like the artists in general. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's, of course, I've offended a lot of people. But hey, it's not for you. It's not for you.
It works.
Yeah. People who get it. Like, also, I feel like y'all can't tell me shit because I'm not from here. I feel a lot of stuff when it comes to people from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I be like, I'm not from here, so whatever rules y'all got, they don't apply to me.
Because not for nothing, though, if you were throwing nothing, like, nothing but trap parties. Niggas would be like, "You not from here?
You're not from here. What you know about trap music?"
I think
Yeah,
I think a sign of it being like a dope event is just people's commentary anyway, right?
for sure.
That is when you're like, okay, I got something. You can say whatever about anything as long as you're saying something.
Yeah. I think all publicity is good publicity. That's how I've always been in my head. I think for me, it's like, I think another thing too for me, like I said, is like, I think it's interesting because like when I first got here, I used to tell Kuji, like, I used to talk about y'all all the time. I didn't know who y'all were. I didn't know that y'all were over finders keepers. But I used to say, didn't I say all the time? I used to be like, bro, like there's a void here. Like I don't know what happened to like finders keepers or like what happened to like these like Lotus Rosary or like these other shows at the time. It was like a time where it was like y'all were gone. Lotus Rosary wasn't throwing shows. Like no one was throwing like independent shows. So that was like
She was naming niggas I had never heard of.
I brought y'all up all the time. I
All
always tell
the
people like I didn't know who y'all were, but I was just like I really appreciated that y'all kept throwing shows, and it was like not like the same like you say pay for play type shit where it was just like everybody can come on and it's like 30 artists on one lineup.
Not even possible.
Yeah, it was like I was like okay cool, they got 5-6 artists, that's it,
All dope too.
all good. You know, the one that caught my attention to be honest, but when I started paying attention to y'all was the Cardo one. Like
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
we were all tapped in.
Yeah.
That's the one I hosted.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just like I appreciate it. I was like, Cardo, like, you know, like people just like don't think about it, you know? So I was like, I appreciate it, like going out of the box, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to book people that people probably want to see, or they like want to like have as a guest, but it's like they don't have the opportunity to say that, or they don't know who to say it to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And no, I was gonna say I feel like, you know, just based off what you just said, like that's kind of why we all linked up. Like we all have a mutual respect for each other's work, and you know, especially we all share the same mindset as far as, you know, like what we want to see
For sure.
artistically in Atlanta, what the city needs, especially now post pandemic, post Rico and pre Lil Baby Rico trial. Apparently something he's
Allegedly.
about to get prosecuted. But I guess to answer your question, why we kind of like I guess fell off the face of the earth in a sense was, one, we kind of lost the plot with the last show, just internally with how we were, you know, doing and picking the artists. It kind of felt that last show we went more of, I don't know, I think we picked all the right artists, but like we went for like the jugular. Like,
Was our last show Anicia?
it was Anicia and Veda and an all women lineup. Like
Atlanta and shows are, and I guess this brings up a topic. Atlanta and shows can get tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anicia, Veda, you take them anywhere outside of Atlanta. Well, I think so, and they're gonna bring people out. Especially at the time, I think Veda was the bigger name between the two.
Because I knew of Veda before I even moved here.
And Veda, she probably doesn't stop her to in Atlanta now, like just to check her mail, and then she back on the road.
Yeah.
Right? Anicia is out of here.
She's fucking out of
But
here.
that show, did
But
150 people, maybe?
But this is my question to y'all. I guess it's an interesting question because I think it happens for us a lot for me back in Tallahassee because Tallahassee is a small town. So it's like some of the artists that come back, like you, like I'm not gonna pay to see that man. I see him walking around the mall every day.
I was just
You
gonna
get what I'm
ask
saying?
that. Like,
So you think oversaturation? Like I can see Anicia at the
I
mall.
think over accessibility, I think that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Because like, yo, we booked all the artists thinking, oh yeah, nah, we gonna pack this shit out. But it just kind of, to me.
and on paper, like it's a, it was like,
No,
a
for
sellout.
It,
Like, yeah.
It kind of ended up like, to be honest, and I love everyone who we booked, but it kind of felt like a high school thing, like where like, you know, all the cool kids were in a certain area, and some other artists, they were doing their thing, but they didn't really get everyone's full attention at like how you're supposed to get everyone's full attention, shit like that. And yeah, it just didn't feel organic, to be honest.
The other interesting part about it is the event is called Finders Keepers. So when we come up with the list of artists, we're not expecting everybody to just know who they are.
For sure.
Right? And so we might be kind of contradicting our whole name.
No, I was saying like that one time, like we went for the
that
juggler.
particular show.
We went for the juggler. We were like, oh, we know these artists and they're all buzzing online. As far as labels, like I was still consulting at the time.
Yeah.
Like mind you, like 95% of the artists we booked, they were on my A&R research notes. and we put them on the stage. Like funnel to be like, hey, this is what we got going on. Like we're working with these artists, content, show, paperwork, all that is official, and we're putting them through like a Chitlin circuit, if you will. So that was kind of like where, you know, we did those first few shows, and then like, all right, yo, I want to hit a home run. I'm tired of hitting the lead single and getting on base or at best a double. No, I want the home run. So
For sure.
like, yo, KD, I want to book these people. I think we have the resources to make it dope. All the other artists who are opening up, they're opening up people. I'm meeting with them, talking with them. I'm in the studio, blah, 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 blah. Let's do it. And I mean, it looked good on paper again, but like I feel like it didn't really.
But Atlanta is hard too, because like I'm gonna be honest with you, like I tell everybody, like you can do market research on artists. I think we was just talking about this, right? Mm-hmm. Like before y'all came and we was watching music videos. I was telling him it's like yeah, I listen to you, but am I finna get out of my bed? Put on my clothes,
exactly.
pay $40 to park,
yep.
and then
drive 40 minutes too.
Drive 30 minutes, and then have to go stand like up for 2 hours to finally hear you perform. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I may play your song 10 times a day, but am I finna do all that? Probably not, right? And I think another thing too, when I think we talked about this before, it's like you have to know what's going on in the city. Like I told Peter, like I threw my second intention, it flopped.
Right.
Because he had a big ass party that same night. You know what I'm saying? Even though like we don't like it's like you still gotta know like what's going on. And like at the end of the day too, it was like that was something that I knew was gonna be like, because everybody just kept talking. Even my friend group was like, we're gonna be here, I'm like, damn, I ain't giving them my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Second tension was where?
Second one.
That sounds like Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I think just our background, I'm sure he's DJ'd a party.
Yeah.
And I had a party the same night. Mm-hmm. And one party did good and the other did bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him the next day.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about your party.
Yeah.
That was just the name of the game at the time. And I think still like that does make sense.
You gotta be aware.
Having a pulse on what's going on, and hey, maybe I should stay away from that date or
big events, Super Bowls, like concerts. Like, do not plan your shit around none of that. Note it for Kema. Do not plan your event when Jump Off, Bring Your Own Vibes, and Mashup Sessions doing events together.
Rare. I'm a parent.
I was like,
hey.
Yeah, no, he snapped. I was like,
that was DJ Unruly's idea. That's
Shout to Rue.
That's my business partner and mentee. But that was his idea that he wanted to do for his birthday. I apologize.
No, you're fine. It's just a good market research example.
It's the name of the game, though.
Yeah,
You're gonna,
but and that's the thing. You gotta stay consistent, because it's like you gotta know when your time is gonna come up. Everybody gonna take an L every now and then, but it's just like you gotta stay consistent and knowing that, like, okay, yeah, I took this L right now, but like, nigga, I got 5-10 more chances in the year to get W's, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's where the consistency, because your time gonna always come. Like, you know, you just gotta
Speaking of L's, though.
But I was going to say, like, that's tough to have that mindset in the world of instant gratification.
For sure.
So what you have is a skill, by the way.
Thank you. But I'm officially 10 years in.
For sure.
So it's like, trust me, like, my homeboy Rob, he would tell you, like, when I first started, like, throwing parties, I remember one of the first parties, our party bus didn't show up. I bust down crying. It was supposed to take us to Tampa. I'm a freshman. We done sold out the whole bus. Made like $600, got all that money back. Cause I can't
he
pepper sprayed Raw Wave concert we was promoting for, pepper sprayed the whole concert. You know what I'm saying? I've been through, like, and that's why I be telling people I done been through every situation possible in the entertainment industry. So it's like, I take an L, I be like, that hurt a little bit, but I'm be alright.
But but like, speaking of L's though, like, first big L, like how did you bounce back? Cause like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I haven't ever thrown a big show, like a big show where I'm just like, yo, like, more money than I've been able to spend. Like, I haven't felt that. I'm nervous to do that. So it's like,
I think because I'm gonna be honest with you, part of the game
for sure.
And like I said, I had a lot of male mentors, and I can't be crying about me losing 20K in the game, and I know he done lost 200.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's really like what do you learn if you just
always win?
I made money. I never saw what it was like to lose. I never made a mistake. I booked the wrong person. I lost the last little bit of money I had and planned to do this tomorrow, and I gotta go figure it out because life still exists after you were your event planner that night.
Yeah.
I think that you do get like some resiliency from it, but it always sucks.
Yes, losing money sucks. Like,
especially when you feel like you did everything right.
Yeah, but it just makes you go harder, and it makes you like understand that like, and I think that's where everybody says like this game, like it's like 10 years. It like I don't really take nobody serious unless they've been doing something for 10 years because like it's like that's where everybody hits your peak. That's where companies hit their peak. Like, you know,
stride,
like, you know, so it's just like you got to think about all the shit that you've been through in 10 years. And if you decide that you want to give up right now, like, what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's the money,
that was valid.
If it's the money,
you don't need to be doing it.
Yeah.
I don't need no money.
Yeah, you will be upset. Very.
But I gotta think too, and that's the thing about like people who come out here and they start events or platforms or whatever, that first couple months when they having 10, 20 people at their event or their party and like they done lost money because they had to pay for the venue, like you gotta do that. That first year EBT, that was all L's. Like, and not L's in terms of atmosphere or events or litness or fun, but like, yeah, I didn't make any money. But it's like I built a brand. Yeah. I built my name, my recognition, and people know what the brand is. Like you gotta be willing to take that. Like,
you gotta go get your equity.
That's important perspective.
Brand equity is very important.
No idea what kind of money we spent on finders keepers. I think if we put it on paper,
we would be very upset with ourselves.
We'd be lying to each other.
Yeah.
But there was impactful moments. There was artists that were like, man, this is their first time in Atlanta. We did this. We saw artists blow up a week after they did our show. Man, all those things happen, right? So it's like when you weigh the two.
Yeah. Or even when somebody like I said, I was riding with my homegirl and she was playing one of the artists that we had performed one of my event songs. It's just like small stuff like that. Yep. Like, dang, like you really like this artist because you heard this artist performing one of my events, right? And I think that's just so important.
No, I definitely agree. And I think since we're doing things that are like important to us, that's where like the gratification comes from. Like you can
passion for it.
You have to, especially for the shit that we're all collectively doing, because it's like, I talk to him all the time. I'm like, you can probably throw a party in Atlanta and make your bread every time, but it's just like I don't think there's fun in that. Right. And you said to your point, you said you were doing club promotion, but just like I want to do shit that is important and see the shit that I want to see. Yeah. So I think it's important perspective. And I feel like for the people who do watch this interview, a big reason I want to get all of us together too is kind of have these conversations for like the next wave of like curators, because it's just like you look at all the events. We've all done. It's not a lot of the profit margin is not always there. It's rarely there, but it's just like a lot of the fly shit that we've all probably been able to do. We're super proud of. Like there's shows that I think 10 years ago that I'm just like, wow, I still can't believe that I booked this nigga in where I'm from.
You also have to understand with what we do. Those moments where the money might not have been there might lead to another opportunity for you to go get the money.
It's very true.
And then it's like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense now.
Yeah. So. Because that's a good example because that's a great example. I lost on one of these shows, I still was able to meet this person and that person. So I have this booking agent now in my pocket. Yep. So when I was in Florida, I can talk to this person. I know that they're going to help me with, these artists going up, and that's going to put me on this and this, right? And put me on this venue. You know what I'm saying? It's like those things that all lead to something else. Like imagine if I would have stopped after that party that I lost to. Like I wouldn't have met none of y'all. We wouldn't be doing this party, we wouldn't be doing this event because I'd be sitting here crying about something that I lost on last year.
Yeah.
And I'm still losing because I ain't doing nothing. So
that's very true. That's very true.
If you stop doing what you're doing right now, what are you gonna do to make yourself feel like you're winning all of a sudden?
Yeah. Coach, I got a question.
That's why
I feel like I've known you since a really long time.
Yeah, it'll be a minute.
You moved to Atlanta when?
So it's my second time out here. Okay. I did my freshman to the beginning of my senior year out here. So that's 09 to 2013. Okay. And then I moved back out here 2022. Yeah.
And then what's your event history? Because you've been doing the Daily Note. You've been to Rhode Island to Atlanta. Connect. I think you took Mikey and them up there.
Yeah, Mikey's. We brought
Mikey all them.
We brought Mikey T, Jay Newton. Yeah, whole lot of people. I started doing. I think my first two events were back to back weekends. I did a pop up at Trade Pop Up, which is a rotating gallery space in Rhode Island. Okay. That my Stay Silent homies own, and then I threw the very first Dope Concepts, which was It was at a spot called Avenue Concepts, which was like this really dope graffiti spot in Rhode Island where you can legally do graffiti. They sell like the cans and they have this really dope outside space.
That's right.
So at the time I'm running the Daily Note and I'm doing college radio, and I just knew hella rappers, and like Rhode Island's very small and like there's not a lot of platforms. So I was like, I want to just throw my own shows. I want to have a place where my niggas can get good at performing, because in Rhode Island it's you either perform at the Strand, which is our big venue, which is like, again, you have to sell like 100 tickets to perform in front of a sold out crowd, but it's like you've never performed, or you have to go other places. So I threw the first Dope Concepts at the spot called Avenue Concepts, and that's the first time I ever hosted. And I just really liked it. It didn't bring out a lot of people. I think we brought out like 40, 50 people. To me, that was a fucking lot, but like upon review, it wasn't. But we did that very first Dope Concepts, and I just kind of never stopped. I had already done like parties here and there. Like I threw... Like my biggest party up until then was like my 21st birthday, which was like an invite only at my homie's crib, which turned into like a block party. And I think around that time was where I learned like I have like kind of an influence at home. Like people kind of fuck with the shit we got going on. I've been doing the Daily Note forever too. So it's just like when we started doing events, people naturally were just like, we're going to go to that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in a really blessed position too, because I came up under like Stay Silent, which like they throw the biggest parties. They throw the biggest party in Rhode Island. So I kind of got to like, I had a cheat code. I got to kind of see how they did things and how they planned things and helping them plan some of their early things. But yeah, Dope Concert was the very first show we did. We continued doing that like every 4 or 5 months. In between that, I was throwing parties, throwing. I used to throw like an arcade night every Thursday. I was just kind of doing shit that like for people like me.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear, the Dom Kennedys, the Big Sean's, these Block Era records. I want to be around like girls that are like fly like me, because I don't like the club. I've never liked the club.
Right.
Like the club was not, and where I'm from is club culture. Mm-hmm. Like if you are a club promoter in Rhode Island, you'll eat forever, because niggas party all day, every day.
Gotcha.
But like that's not something I aligned with. So I was like, I want to do something for people who give a fuck about the shit that I care about. Like throw an event where you can hear Bronson songs and I'm not the only one that knows it. So yeah, my first Dope Concepts was, I don't remember the year. I feel like it feels so long ago. But yeah, no, that's where we started. And the Atlanta connection, I came to a Mikey show. Mm-hmm. He did the Mega Millions tour. No tour. He did the Mega Millions like album release show.
I think we did that show.
I think it was in the music room. Yes. Oh, yeah. So that's the day I meet Deontay Hitchcock. That's the day I met.
Yeah, we collabed with Mikey for that show.
So, and I think that's where I originally met you.
I think so.
For the very first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's the day I met Teacup as well.
Oh yeah, we sold that one.
Yeah, no, that shit was packed. I flew in for that shit. Me and Louis, co-owner of the Daily Note, we flew in for that because the way Mikey was promoting it, I was just like, whoa, this is like a big deal.
Absolutely, yes.
So I flew in for that. Went to the music room. I remember just being like, okay, we're doing Dope Contests in Rhode Island, but I know way more rappers here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder what it would look like to do something here. And me and Tika became cool, and we just. Shout out to her for believing in me and just fucking being like, yeah, we'll get it booked. We'll figure it out. We did our first Dope Concepts Atlanta, and like weirdly enough, it did really well.
Right.
Like way better than I thought. And I remember just being like, there's something here. Like the thing we're doing up north is dope. Like what I'm doing in Rhode Island is cool, but like there's an energy here. I didn't realize how big the underground scene was here because I didn't live here anymore. So me and Teacup did that. We did it a few more times, and we just kind of kept that connection going, and like bringing artists from Atlanta to Rhode Island and vice versa. It was just always just really cool connection. So when I moved back, I just kind of hit the ground running because of this guy, like because of y'all. Actually, my first like 3 shows in Atlanta when I moved, I did. I think the Yo Dog Finders Keep. No. What was before that one? It was after the Lily Rain one.
Lily Rain.
It was Lily, Yo, then Father.
Yo Dog, Father.
Pretty sure.
I feel like
Surf at was it Surf at 529?
I think so.
Maybe 529 show.
I moved here. I did the Little Rosary show first, that's where I met Surf and all those guys. I met literally like everyone that had booked for Dope Concepts at this point. I met at that one show. Met fucking Surf, Anwar, fucking Velcro,
To them guys too.
all those guys in one place. Then I did Finders Keeper show. I did the first Father show I hosted like 2 weeks later, and shit's just never stopped.
Yeah, man.
So like to y'all, you two plus Teacup are like a big reason I was able to kind of come out here and like move properly, because I like knew who to work with, knew who not to work with, knew who was dope.
Yeah.
And like y'all just believed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Sure, that's what's up.
But that's really like, but to your point though, it's like in those moments where like even if your event doesn't go well, you meet these people who you're gonna continue working with. I met Peter in Rhode Island though. Funny enough, I didn't meet. I met. Lily Rain listening party.
Yeah.
And it was funny enough. I ended up moving to Atlanta the week after.
Yeah.
Lily had her listening party. Then I had my big ass birthday going away party like 2 days later.
A funny thing is, we would just put your name on the flyer.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're hosting it.
Yeah.
It
got to the point where it was just like, yeah, I'm just hosting everything y'all are doing.
Yeah.
But I think when we really, really locked in was the Clark D show. Because that show meant a lot to me.
I actually shout out to Clark D and that show. Because I don't know why we didn't mention that. I think that might have been the most organic Finders Keepers we ever did. Clark D's marketing himself. He was outside. And it was like, man, this is what I want Finders Keepers to be every time. But the artist has to be on that same page. But I think that he was like, listen, I know this is you guys' show, but I'm headlining, so he took it upon himself to just drive it a little bit, and I really, really appreciated that. You don't see that every day from artists.
You don't. I think, and I actually have a question about that. Like, how is it? Do you guys ever like get frustrated working with artists? You feel like don't. Better question. Do you guys think it's an artist's job to promote these shows that we booked them for?
No. But I do think it's their job to communicate with their fans.
That's right.
So I'm not saying, hey, every day you should be, this show, but there's people that want to see you, you're booked. If you were on our show, you were paid. So there's not like a reason to not say, hey, can we get 2 posts out of you in the 2 months of promotion that we may do?
No, it's real.
Contract.
I'd be cool. And it's in the contract too. So some of the times you'd get it, sometimes you wouldn't. And you're probably not gonna gain too much from debating about it.
Yeah.
And you got to take it upon yourself to say, like, for us, it was like, man, maybe people don't even know these artists, so we're going to offer an open bar or some kind of incentive for people to just be there, right? And
yeah, because your incentives were dope.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah, I would.
Nah, for sure.
Sure, he always talks. I would say Clark D and Wiley from Atlanta.
I hosted that one too. Yeah.
He was very, very hands on with making sure his people came out.
Everyone on that lineup,
and that was an amazing lineup.
Yeah. And Drell. Yeah, she was.
I think that was the first time I met Wiley. I had known him through Noah Mikey.
Yeah.
And two things. I knew he was white, but I didn't realize he was white, if that makes sense. Like
maybe a lot of people run into that when they meet him.
Yeah, like I met him in the green room, and I'm just like, oh, you're dead ass, like you're white.
Yeah.
And like, so right after that, I learned that he was like a fucking superstar. There was like literally the front row was like 10 girls, and they were all like, you know, Wiley. I'm like, yeah, like it's the homie. They're like, yo, let him know we're here. I'm just like,
yep.
Wow.
You could see Wiley's presence in the
like he came on, I was like, oh, this thing has aura.
Yeah, no, as an artist, I think I call it the Jesus effect.
No, bro, like
kind of gravitates where you outside of the music and
shit.
shit.
The young lady's name on that show, Kapani,
she's hard.
Really, really dope.
She killed it.
It was the first time I got to like see her live, so y'all bring back memories.
That was a really good show. That was
529.
That was my first time at 529.
And Zone 6.
Yeah.
And Drell.
No, not Andy.
And Drell.
And Drell
was there. And
he
did the show with
Lily Rain.
No, he was Byrie.
Byrie.
He was Byrie.
Yeah, the Byrie.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he opened that show. If I'm not.
He might have.
He was before Byrie, I think, though.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, enough of the past.
Yeah, no, because honestly, I could really like just sit here and talk about this shit all day, because it's just like it's just really cool to like to discuss these things, because it's just like we'll get to credit check in a second, I promise, but it's like I don't think we as creatives and curators like ever sit down and be like, this shit that we did was really fucking dope.
Yeah.
Because we're always thinking about what's next and
or what went wrong with it.
Yeah, and then we're fixated on it for months, but it's just like we've collectively like have done ill shit, like shit that's been, I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, when these artists are like, they're fucking legacy acts. Like I remember performing for these niggas and like, I remember, like, or the fans being like, I remember seeing these niggas for free at fucking Arbor or whatever the case may be, or getting free drinks at L5. And it's like, I think we're providing that.
There's memories that you create for people that mean absolutely nothing to you, but then they'll come back and say, yo, you were the first person to, or you guys exposed me to this and that. And it's like, that I appreciate. No dollar amount. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Facts.
Yeah.
You might have really impacted somebody, their career choice. They want to be a DJ, a host.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They start to figure it out from kind of coming to some of the things that we do.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think me and Candy, Candy the DJ, we were talking about this.
Hard.
We was like, I want our events to be fun, not lit. Like, I don't care how many people are in the room. I think that's why, to kind of piggyback off the thing which y'all was just talking about with the artists versus the promoters and stuff like that, and promoting. I agree. I do not feel like it's the artist's job to promote.
No, I agree, by the way. I just want a perspective.
No. But I think to that point, I feel like that's where it's really on the curators to provide community. Like, I'm definitely going to go to a concert if I know I'm going to see 50 of my homegirls there. You know what I'm saying? Because we all like this artist or whatever. I feel like you're more willing to go in spaces like where you know your family and your community is going to be there. Like, somebody has never probably been to a dope concert before, but they're like, I'm going to go because it's 30 people that I see always going to dope concerts that I know. You know, so that's why I always feel like it's cool, but how many of y'all have gone to a concert on your own and it's not a huge artist? Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I feel like promoting the community of the people who come out to your events is way more important.
I definitely agree
with that. Yeah, for sure.
I think the community, like all the communities that we're building or a part of, are really important. I think that's what makes this place specifically so dope, because it's just like, to your point, I don't really go to a lot of stuff if I don't know who's going to be there. But like when I go to any of y'all events, it's just like I know I'm going to see the group of people that I genuinely fuck with, and I think it's because we've tastefully curated the right people to come to our events.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, you're right, Peter. We need to talk about the future. Fucking Credit Check. Let's get to Credit Check. I'm really excited about the show. I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, this is like a lot of cool full circle moments. Like, and now, like as I'm saying, we're telling these stories. It's like I met Deontay Hitchcock at a show this nigga put on. I would have like,
that's crazy.
Which is fucking insane. And like that's a Mikey show who's on the show, and it's like I don't know half the rappers I know without like knowing Mikey. So it's just like Credit Check is like a really cool like full circle moment for like the shit that I've been on. But let's talk about like how this all came together. It starts with Kema.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when I like started EBT, like one of the biggest things I said, I was like, I don't want to just be that page. It just, I mean, I love posting videos and artists and music, but I just didn't want that just to be it. Like I wanted to be able to say like, hey, here's the music that we all love and share that, but then also like bring the actual music to the people in person. So like for me, it's always been super hard because like the last 2-3 years have been like, damn, like trying to find a partner, trying to find a venue. Like and for me, it was like, if I do this, I'm going to do it the right way. Right. And I wanted like an actual venue, an actual space, like to do it where actually it would like be professional. Cause I'm not going backwards. I've already been doing it the right way. Why would I not do it the right way? You know? So it was just kind of hard finding that. But, you know, shout out to you, kind of, you know, introduced me to, you know, Peter and, you know, have like,
which is crazy that y'all didn't know each other prior. I
did not know who Peter was. I'm gonna be honest with you, sure did. But I had heard the name Canterbury. But when you were like Peter, I'm like, who the hell is Peter? Like, so, but
I've never called you Canterbury. I'm sorry.
That's my actual name.
I never will.
Yeah, I'm just like Pete. Yeah, like you.
Everyone will. Y'all, there's some people that will just forever call me Peter, so I will just always answer to it.
But I think for me, it's just like I said, like, and it's so weird because, like I said, I always talked about y'all. Like, I always talked about Finders Keepers. I always would bring y'all up in conversations. Like I said, not even know who it was, but I would say, like, I want my shit to be like Finders Keepers. Like, I want it to... And I've never been to a Finders Keepers. And that tells you a lot. Like, so it just was like, I always wanted to say, like, I want to create or fill that void that Finders Keepers left. And, like... Here we are.
So I want to say, well, like by the time when I was hosting them, I don't even think I knew you yet.
Yeah.
Because I met you a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that time, like we all like just kind of just missed each other.
I just really liked what they were doing with the artists. So yeah.
Too, like we probably all have a need for like some type of quality production.
Yeah.
Now, we can't go do whatever they're doing at Center Stage and Phillips Arena unless we find that budget, but with every stage that we create, it's not just a stage. You're not just gonna go up there. There's gonna be sound checks, and this is gonna be in order. And so I think that's what is important. I think why kind of like is trustworthy in this circle, because I know what you do. I know what you do. I know what he does because he cusses me about what I don't do. Right? So it's like this is.
Oh, it's strict around here with Peter.
Yeah. I'm super strict.
Oh nah, bro, it's super strict with Kema too, dog.
Yeah.
No, you need to work with people like that because it's just like that's how you get your shit more sharpened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm strict because like as a female too as well, like I seen like I would let a lot of like things slide in the beginning of the entertainment industry because I was like just trying to be in, trying to make those connections, trying to be cool with the promoters, but
also just like excited to be there.
I'm just happy to be here. But it's like no, like we let things slide, things that I knew we should have did, and it's like it either caused a problem with the event or something like that. But like I said, I knew that like y'all did production quality shows, and I've never been to a finance keeper a day in my life. So I was like, if we do credit check, we not gonna throw it at the chicken coop. Like it gotta be done right.
Gotta be comparable and
No, definitely.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
that's why I like the venue too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, shots crazy Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't think the concert goer crowd necessarily is all the way familiar. Some people maybe, but I think just shows have been getting repeated at the same places.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like you do your stuff where you do yours, and the customers that used to come into the same places, or then we'll swap venues, and it's like let's give them something else to look at. Change the face of the event.
But also it's the elevation. I think that's why I would say like that's the biggest part of marketing any brand is like we started, like you said, like just posting videos and throwing like little parties, and now we're throwing concerts. Like you want to be able to grow with a brand. That's how you get people invested in the brand. So like as you continue to grow, like people are going to be like, I feel like I'm part of their journey too because I was at that very first show. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I feel like is the most important. That's why I say I always focus on the community because they're going to be your biggest supporters at the end of the day.
And to your point, I think that's really important. Like especially when you see these curators that you fuck with like get bigger and bigger and bigger, you do feel a part of it because it's like I went to your first show, I went to your first blah blah blah. I remember when the shit was free. Now it's X amount of money. So it's like the community is really important. And shout out to like us for like all having just really cool communities.
Yeah. I hate when I see my favorite platforms like disappear. Like when y'all left, I was like, I used to talk about it all the time. I was like,
no bullshit. Like
I
she's not joking. Like
Back to life.
I literally resurrected y'all from the grave because like I was literally like
That should be me.
I was like, where's my like I literally used to tell Kuji, I said, Kuji, like you filled this gap like where Finders Keepers was and like these other independent shows, like that does not. I was like, how do you feel about that? I used to ask him that all the time.
she told me that all the time, and I'm just like I don't know. Like I don't.
I like the fact that you just said that because me and Peter have conversations and we'll be like, bro, Cooj is gonna get to the forefront of this and we're pushing him, whatever.
Like no bullshit. Like one of my first conversations with Peter was very much that. He's just like, yeah, seen you. Want to give you the keys. I'm like, okay, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. But we also gotta like I think the biggest thing is not being like them old hating ass niggas. Like, once like we once you like once you get past a certain age, you're gonna be like, look, I ain't got time to sit on YouTube all day and listen to all the new artists that came out of Atlanta, just drop music.
Bro,
so,
and I think I'm getting to that point because I'm like you playing artists I've never even heard of, and I'm like,
no, you just like when it comes. I'm gonna be honest with you, when it comes to independent artists, like I don't know how you be finding these people. They be quality artists too, and I'm just like, do I need to go to more shows? But it's like I'm tired of doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you do it?
I think luck and just surrounding myself with already dope people, and they just attract other dope people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the artists that I've been able to book for dope concepts, I met through hosting other people's shows or just going to random shows and just seeing one person. And again, like for example, like Sky Justice met them through a Dank show. Dank met him through a Velcro show. Surf, Velcro's met him through a surf show. It's just like
I felt
a lot of the dope artists, people like run with each other.
Yeah, you're right, they do.
So
it's a clique. It's a clique.
But it's like luckily everyone a part of these cliques are like they're all good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. No,
but
you're right.
It's you just when you surround yourself around really cool people, like you just continue meeting other cool people.
Yeah, I like that the first one is Deontay because I feel like it's very authentic to what we're trying to.
Yeah, let's talk about how we came up with this.
How did this even happen?
You want to talk about it for real? I would say we had different list of artists, of course, that we were, fleshing out, depending on like the venue and of course the size of the venue and stuff like that. Of course, it's being the first time we're gonna do. We want to, of course, find and be realistic about like our budget, our things, and what we think would really bring and draw out Atlanta. And like, I mean, Deontay is definitely one that he's like, when I think of like real rap in Atlanta, like I think of Deontay.
Yeah.
Like lyricism. I mean, of course, because we can't book Jid or Earth Gang in there.
Well, not yet, anyways.
So it's like after them, when I think of lyricism, I'm thinking of Deontay. Like
No,
when it
definitely.
comes to Atlanta. So yeah.
Like honestly, just the artists we were listening to, like before we got on the podcast, I would put him a part of that class too. Like the Sminos, the community, like
Because how many lyrical artists do we have from Atlanta?
as lyrical as Deontay, not
and Jid
many.
and Earth Gangs? Yeah.
They're also all fucking aliens though.
Yeah.
They're all aliens. Like all those niggas rap really well.
Yeah.
I think that so they like exist, but like being able to see the light,
Yeah.
that's where it comes few and far between, and that's where they become aliens to me. Because like, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
Also, how do you rap that well and make good music?
There you go.
Because that's the thing. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of niggas who can rap.
And that might be the answer.
Yeah.
Though. That might be the answer to what we were just asking.
Like
the music part.
I think with the Deontay's, the JIDs, the early, they found a way to bar niggas out, but also make phenomenal music. Because like that's the thing that impressed me with Deontay off rip. I was just like, you make good music.
Sounds like there's an emphasis there. Like, all right, I know I can rap, but this has to.
Yeah.
It has to be packaged. Yeah. Like every song, don't sound the same. But like I said, I think Credit Check is going to be something that like is going to not only be a different type of event and going to kind of fill a void in the city, but it's also going to, I feel like, make people go harder. Because like, you can see that you can be on bigger stages with bigger artists if you continue to promote yourself and your brand and your music. So I'm excited. April 25th.
April 25th, Credit
there.
Check. We have Deontay Hitchcock, Ahmad Anonymous, Jazzy the Rapper, Michael Aristotle, Kuldini. And I just think that's such an ill.
That's a fly lineup, right?
It really is, and like
everyone.
Yeah, like
it's not just a shallow like we know y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's dope.
Yeah.
Like I think
So that's cool.
again, all the shows we've all done, like the lineup's always good, but like this lineup like just feels different because it's just like I feel like on my end, 4 out of the 5 artists have been a dope concept. So I'm like, I've seen you get really fucking good in real time.
Yeah.
Especially like Mikey. Like I've been this would be like 10 years of booking that nigga.
Yeah, we been
Another alien.
Yeah.
And then they can all perform.
Yeah, that's another very important thing too. Like, I think Jazzy is gonna like blow niggas' minds, like with just how ill she is and like the setup for it. Did Jazzy do a Finders Keeper?
Nah, but her management was trying to like.
We were trying to line
so
it
this
up,
is actually
and I think we stopped. So that's our fault, Jazzy. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But no, she's dope. We've seen her I've seen Jazzy at a few different places.
I feel like I've seen her perform at aisle 5.
I feel like I have too, and I think that anytime someone doesn't know her and then they see her rap, they're like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Then you're like, I know who she is now.
Yep, you gonna get in there.
Yeah, Jazzy, attention too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. She was at the first tension, but I had known Jazzy for a minute because when I was managing my artist, she was like one of the extras in like the music video, right? And I had been on her music when she had dropped Unsaved. Unsaved is my shit. Like it was like one of her first singles. But yeah, she's been dope. Like,
no, she's incredible.
And I like I said, it's like being able to see that. I feel like that's why she continues to blow up is because, like you say, you continue to see that artist grow. Mm-hmm. So that's why we got to continue to grow with the artists and continue to provide them stages to them as well. So
absolutely,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Credit Check, April 25th.
Yes,
Crazy Atlanta. Crazy Atlanta. Tickets are on sale. Make sure you pull up. It's gonna be a phenomenal show. And you know, if for the city have more ill shows. Y'all gotta support shows like this, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For artists to get on these bigger platforms and not have to pay $1 bajillion and sell a bajillion tickets to perform for 7 minutes. And get paid. Yes. Yes, we're paying niggas too.
Y'all are getting paid.
You don't need to be paying to be on these shows.
You know what I mean? Build your artistry up and we'll come to you. You know what I mean? And put a stage and niggas will come. But yeah, I'm really excited for the show. I think we've all done remarkable work. So putting this together is ill.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Yo, no problem. No, thank y'all for, doing the podcast. This is Peter's first podcast. Clap it up for Peter. First podcast. Yeah.
PV.
Podcast virginity.
You know what I mean?
They took it.
That was crazy.
Let's get it.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys.
Nah, for sure. Thank you. Shout out to this ill space. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Do not try to find out where I stay. Trying to rob me.
And if you made it to this far through the interview, through the kicking it, thank you for fucking kicking it with us. Where can they find y'all?
I had to think about it for a second. I'm on Instagram _KEMATRY chemistry.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it was like a play on name type shit. Yeah.
I've never even once tried to say it out. I'm like, let's keep his Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram too. Wow.kamau. That's KAMAU. I used to be Paperboy KD on Instagram. But
Yeah.
nothing really happened. Like that was just like
You just grew up?
moniker for I'm trying to get older. And
You feel me?
Morals and stuff
So
like
what you doing with the page?
I deleted it. It's like this goal.
Could have sold that or
I
something.
could have. Yeah. But yeah, I'm there. I'm still KD, but I just, trying to grow up.
Bro, you super funny, bro.
I know sometimes.
I'm moniker.
They have to be able to hear you.
I think he can hear me,
Very
right?
good.
That's why that's exactly what I was going for.
This nigga. This is how Peter talks all the time
Yeah,
too.
nah, for sure. I'm like a male Daria. But,
That's hilarious.
you can find me on IG and Twitter at the Canterbury T. Yes, like to book. It is TheCanterbury and the letter T at the end on social media.
Perfect.
Hell yeah! And this is the first kick. When was the last time we did kicking it, Sean? It's been a minute.
Last summer.
No fucking way.
No, September because we did.
No fucking way.
Was it Nico? That was summer.
Yeah.
I was in summer.
Big toe for your boy. shout out to Nico the GOAT, man.
Sure.
And shout out to y'all. I promise we're gonna do more kicking it. I just gotta figure it out. I guess I don't know. Peace out, Cub Scouts. It's been real. Play that theme song. We out.
Let's get it.
I been kicking it with Cooch. 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 Got a lot of shit to lose. I been kicking it with Cooch.